So let me preface one thing as we start this video. All the developers and staff have been working on Cyberpunk 2077 for the last years. They've been working their butts off to create something ambitious, something amazing. And there's a lot of hate, a lot of anger being directed at them, and that is extremely misguided. In all these situations, Anthem, Mass Effect Andromeda, Fallout 76, Batman Arkham Knight, it's never through the developers, it's mismanagement. That is the core issue here with Cyberpunk 2077. Management failed. These developers, they failed a lot of consumers that are upset with it. I just need to preface this so people understand, because there's a lot of developers right now, CD Projekt Red, like what they got when the game was delayed from November to December. They're getting threats, they're getting a lot of angry messages, and it's just so misguided, so ignorant, and I just wish people had a better understanding of how games works. And the bottom level artists and people that are working in Quest, they have no say in any of the decisions going on behind the scenes. They're just trying to make the best product that they can, but there's a time frame and they don't have any say in any of that stuff, any of the business decisions. And unfortunately with Cyberpunk 2077, those business decisions is what has tarnished a really good experience. Because right now there's just so much rage. It is good, it's just, it needed more time, and it got rushed out the door. You almost feel like Jason Schreier of Bloomberg is going to have a very in-depth report that is development very into, say, Mass Effect Andromeda or Anthem system, and maybe it's even going to be worse, because there just seems to be a whole story there, and it's going to come out very soon. I just have a feeling. But anyway, here I am back again talking about more Cyberpunk 2077 outrage, because we have more updates on the current situation, which is, as most of you know, in my last video we talked about CD Projekt Red's apology, and that top 2 sentences or so is what has been getting a lot of attention, which CD Projekt Red tells gamers, first of all, we would like to start by apologizing to you for not showing the game on base last-gen consoles before it premiered, and, in consequence, not allowing you to make a more informed decision about your purchase. We should have paid more attention to making it play better on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Those sentences are blasted by many, critics and users alike, as many find that his characterization of what's been happening, because remember, CD Projekt Red's CEO hadn't been 2 weeks before release, put out a statement to investors saying that this game ran surprisingly well. Surprisingly well. The base version of Xbox One and PlayStation 4. And now we know a couple of days after release that this is not the case. And it's going to take months for this game to probably run run well enough on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 versions, which means that anybody who purchased the game right now is really just going to have to wait if they really want to get that true Cyberpunk. It's extremely disappointing and shows some of the clear mismanagement that has been going on behind the scenes. Either way, we have a lot of critics blasting that. We also have a review website which has made a huge change, and they blasted CD Projekt Red. We also have players blasting CD Projekt Red over missing features. A lot to go over, but first let's go to OpenCritic. As most of you know, that this is one of the big review aggregators, and OpenCritic. Right now, Cyberpunk 2077 has a top critic average of 86 out of 100. It's falling pretty fast, guys. It was at a 91, and that's because those console reviews are coming in, and so far I have not seen a console review over 70, which is not good at all. And only 88% of critics now recommend Cyberpunk 2077. I think it was 597. Now there is a huge orange warning on it. And they explained OpenCritic said, on Monday, December 17th, all around the world will finally give the chance to read and listen to critics' experience. The game quickly ascended to the OpenCritic Hall of Fame with an additional critics average of 90, placing it as number 6 issue. But still hype the game still doesn't take work, especially on PC. It's not the experience. It's not perfect. There are clear issues. Some things that I thought were going to be critics did. Here's to a bit of liberty these are pretty big allegations that OpenCritic is saying, but they continue on. The incentive was there up until last Friday. The developers believed that their bonuses were contingent upon hitting 90 or higher on Metacritic. Still, I cannot believe that in 2020, a developer or a major publisher is still doing this, tying bonuses to reviews. According to reports from Blue, individual developers and publishers had ample incentive to contribute reviews in a way that maximizes aggregators to secure their bonuses. In this case, they issued PC review copies to publications with ISPs who required that they did not leave their games recorded. They allowed no one to discuss or review the game on the Xbox One or PlayStation 4 consoles. It is an interesting thing just to remember that originally reviewers were supposed to have weeks with this game, but I guess that changed with all the chaos that has happened so far. Maybe just circumstances. A lot of things happen. Critics state that they should have known that their game had severe performance issues on Xbox One and PlayStation 4, which were its target launch consoles, given its published trailer in initial April 2020 launch date. They did this knowing that the visual bugs were jarring to make many question the pre-order. If the console version were to be reviewed, it would receive negative reviews due to its performance issues and hurt the game's launch day sales. They did it knowing many publications generally can't re-review games. The second review creates confusion with their audience with keyword rankings. They did it knowing that to this day it is still challenging for consumers to return a video game. They did it knowing that most online communities don't discuss the platforms behind the review. Most games, especially AAA games, usually don't have significant disparities in the experience between the same gen of hardware. Consumers have come to expect that most games will be fairly reviewed across all platforms. That our experience, most publishers respect that expectation. They did it knowing that what they were doing was wrong. It was deceptive, selfish, and exploitative. They did it anyway. In 2015, prior to the launch of OpenCritic, the development team launched the PC release of Batman Arkham Knight. While the game performed well and was received well on consoles, the PC release had so many problems that many gamers considered it unplayable. A few days after its release, Warner Brothers suspended all sales of the PC version. Which, honestly, maybe we're at that point with Cyberpunk on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 base models. But anyway, the statement says, the OpenCritic team at this moment intensely behind the scenes. We revisited our design's questions, the right decision to aggregate all platforms into a single store. Then they also make a point about why they haven't done other games in the past. Assassin's Creed Unity and Valhalla were filled with bugs and performance issues at their launches. But unlike CD Projekt Red, Ubisoft did not deliberately hide those issues from critics. And then finally, today we believe that the single-score approach has failed our users in regard to Cyberpunk 2077. As a result, we have published a new warning on the Cyberpunk page that I mentioned just before. And yeah, CD Projekt Red is right now. A lot of people, especially with their statement, here's Skilla, a great reviewer on YouTube. He has a great Cyberpunk review up. He said CDPR apologizes for hiding console performance before launch, promises updates, and offers refunds to all customers. Consumers would have forgiven the bugs, but deliberate efforts to deceive are not so quickly forgiven. Such a shame it went down like this. Then we have Chris Scullion, another games journalist, saying, get your refund, this was a shambles. I feel for the staff who are going to have to keep working it. When Kaczynski said it ran surprisingly well on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, they lied. We were lied to, or it back. Continued also past that, you can contact the topic with the first shite. A lot of people are getting this for their Christmas. If it's still broken, then get your money back. You're talking specifically about physical consumer contract regulations 2013. Not to mention the fact that the shambles also shifts the capital of the retailers. If it's done anything wrong here, it's back from the renege upon our condition. Then we have Angry Joe, who said it's great they apologize, but it should have never happened in the first place. They clearly knew what they were releasing. Bethesda didn't get a pass for following that information. Neither did Project Red. Like Mother, another game journalist, says this apology says two things. CDPR intentionally hid based on the this was deceptive and that this January, February, and the second to meet this game should have been delayed again. Prior to to be a rough next few months, UA programming teams at CD Projekt Red get you over days that work for unrealistic stuff within the gaming industry. Not even sure where to begin. So how about the fact that they knew it was out there? They knew they had record pre-orders. They withheld console copies from reviewers restricted the gameplay they could post. Their partner Xbox also wasn't ready for the show. By the code, I knew day one patches was in the code was extremely I'm beyond bummed out that I'm saying that I was so excited for this game for the launch was like better do the production have a proper noise by game coincidence. The rush release will fully know I hope CD Projekt Red is going to and wait for the patches to come. Jake Baldino was game right. But I'm ready to believe that there is a very good game here. It's just dragged down by bugs. Bigger Hey, Brad Sample, another games journalist, says they would out this last 7 years, such as God of War, Xbox.
The monumental awaits the above.
Xbox One hardware saying, well, what do you expect on this old hardware? I mean, this game was envisioned for the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 and PC as of 2013. I think everybody just expects it to run.
The monumental will explain. We have long awaited you, slayer of demons. I am one of the monumentals. There is a tale I would... Once, we too were a scourge of demons. In the distant past, under benevolent rule, the world was united owing to the soul arts. Until a lust for power caused the awakening of the Old One. Across the land seeped a colorless, deep fog, and the world faced extinction at the hands of the demons. Thanks be, we were able to lull the Old One back to its slumber, yet only after the loss of innumerable souls, and most of the world, lost, erased by the fog. In order to mend the fabric of what lands still remained, we entrusted 6 leaders with 6 precious archstones, one to the king of a small yet industrious land, one to the king of the burrows underground, one to the wise queen of the great ivory tower, one to the chieftain of lost and ill-fortuned souls, one to the shaman of the tempest-worshipping shadowmen, and the last to the great giants of the northern lands. The archstones were placed in the fringelands that survived, We contained the Old One here below the Nexus and prohibited the soul arts. Finally, we became monumentals, half-living sentinels of the fabric of reality. Alas, the other monumentals have perished, and only I remain. Now it is you must lull, if not, have you the strength? Yes. Now, the Old One, without demon.
You met those fools revive, and now they've trapped us here in the Nexus. It's all a travesty. Still alive, this is a black sheep, but beware.
Prithee. What is it? Seekest thou the power? Of course. After God, let these vagabond souls become thine own. Soul of the mind, key to life's eve. I am here.
Dexterity.
strength help you.
I would be happy to lighten you. Rest assured, your rest of luck to you.
Oh, good. I can forge weapons for you. No, interesting. I can tell you're not going to laugh. I can forge weapons for you. You come back alive.
Then touch the key. Soul of the mind, key to life's ether. Soul of the lost, withdrawn from its vessel. Let strength be granted so the world might be mended. So the world might be mended. May thy strength.
Are you here to face the demons? If so, please free Sage Frake. I will help you. However, Sage Frake is a... Nice. Just ensure that you win.
begging for a magic Master Frake. By all the more reason. All the more reason.
I see.
Oh my, how is this? Has God abandoned us for King Aland? Oh, back in the time that I lived below Boletaria Castle, King Aland left on some soon. My spine shudders just if I did not have my miracle stone shard. If I did not have my miracle...
A warrior from afar, are you? May you enjoy victory in battle, Umbasas. A warrior in Umbasas.
I have sinned. I swore allegiance to now. Oh, I have not.
Nobody's expecting high-end PC experience, just that people want the game to run and look at least decent at best. Anyway, continuing forward, Young Yan, another game reviewer, said, "What hurts most about the Cyberpunk 2077 situation is the active deceit, the purposeful manipulation of the review process, and the intentional lack of transparency. That's the part that's going to be hardest to forget, and there's a lot of work being done to earn that trust back. Keep in mind, this stuff can be attributed to management, not the ground floor devs, and no matter how unfortunate the situation, don't send gross insults and death threats, as I said before. It hurts both sides of the conversation and accomplishes nothing beyond making you look like a deranged ass." Yeah, Young's actually pretty much on the money with it. But then Brian Altano of IGN said, "Here's the team behind Cyberpunk telling you they knew their game was a broken mess on consoles, but they shipped it anyway, without showing it to anyone, because they wanted your money at launch. Now you're supposed to spend 2 hours on customer service asking for a refund. I'm enjoying the game for the most part, crashes, bugs, and all, and I've played 10 hours on a PC plus 20 on a PlayStation 5. The latter has hard crashed on me 10 times, is riddled with glitches, pop-in, and freezes. The whole console launch feels completely gross, shady, and inexcusable." Brian McCaffrey, another IGN employee, would add, "Studio leadership, not the dev team, has a lot to answer for, both to customers and shareholders. Various leaked emails, reporting by Schreier, and even public statements like this one raised legit questions about their ability to sustainability and ethically run a large team." And speaking of IGN, they actually did put out a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One review for Cyberpunk 2077, and the image for this, of their experience, my god, it looks horrible. God-awful, so blurry, so looks like something from maybe the late 90s. Either way, they gave the game a 4. One of the worst reviews for the game. I don't even think it's actually worse. I think it's pretty much gave it a 35. And this is what they said: "Please don't play Cyberpunk 2077 on a base Xbox One or PlayStation 4. It is a shockingly bad way to experience what is a fantastic RPG that are hard." We also have another review. ECG, he said this on Twitter: "Officially, I am rating the PlayStation 4 and Xbox base platform, the Cyberpunk 2077, a never touch." So yeah, that's kind of the thinking going on here. A lot of critics and people that work within it. A lot of people disappointed and angry with how CD Projekt Red has handled all of this. Now, one of the big promises in this was CD Projekt Red would be allowing people to get the problem. One of the places where you buy the game or you are bought the game, well, people are getting denied. Like Sony is specifically denying people. See, the thing is, a lot of these retailers, they have stipulations, they have rules. So if you play the game for a couple of hours, like on Steam, I think it's like 2 hours, then you have to refund. And that's kind of the wall that a lot of people are running into. People have been posting their discussions with Sony's support, and yeah, it's not going over very well. Somebody asked for a refund, and the customer service support person said, "According to our records, the content has been downloaded, streamed. I'm sorry, due to the restrictions outlined in the PlayStation Store cancellation policy, a refund cannot be made." stories, not necessarily with just Sony, but also Xbox, and I imagine this is going to be the wall that everybody's going to be running into, and ultimately, though, this is going to be on CD Projekt to make all of this right, because some retailers are just outright saying that they will not handle any of this. They're saying, you can go to CD Projekt Red, email them, but we're not doing any refunds or any of that. So, yeah, this looks like this could be another situation that blows up, but ultimately, CD Projekt Red says they're accepting time frame, only 1 week. Yeah, send those emails if you're very unsatisfied with the game, but yeah, this is a situation that is developing right now. It just Sony, a lot of people are being denied refunds, but not everybody. It just brings flashbacks to, I think it was 2018 with Fallout 76, which so many people were being denied refunds, although right now it does look like CD Projekt Red is willing to give those refunds, which is definitely a good pro-consumer move. But as of this moment, the interactions that I'm seeing people having with Xbox and Sony is always going to go nowhere. Unless you play the game for less than an hour, it really isn't worth talking to them. I just go directly to CDPR, send that email before the deadline, because this is just an example of some of the interactions. After that message that I told you about before, the PlayStation Store cancellation policy, the fact that they couldn't give somebody wrote me, there's also a specious statement. Was downloaded. The only way to know if the type of server unacceptable was to use it. Well, your terms of service are in place yet. So we're now an organization that's not a publisher. Also, being ironically, Karen, she says, we can appreciate how frustrating it is dealing with this item. Unfortunately, our hands are not. If a game has been downloaded, I would not be permitted to issue a refund under the circumstances. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause, that the person says, as it reflects your organization's desire to earn profits on shutting products over the will. Then on the Reddit, so we apologize for your frustration. Matter than anything else. That support's only going to go so far. It's going to be pretty much pointless for those who have played a couple of hours. This is all in CD Projekt Red's hands. Their responsibility. Not Sony, not Xbox, not GameStop, or EB Games, or wherever you buy it. Now, to pivot this video, there's actually some growing outrage over another aspect of Cyberpunk 2077. Well, much of the discussion, much of what you're seeing online right now has to do with bugginess, performance issues, the Xbox and PlayStation 4, and also the PC 2 to 3. We're also seeing players that are very unhappy with some of the design decisions and also just features that were talked about and that are not at all in this game. And yes, we're seeing No Man's Sky-like lists that I remember back in 2016. Here now with Cyberpunk 2077. Well, one of the biggest examples is what this game was supposed to be in terms of AI. Like in this current state, the retail version of Cyberpunk 2077, this is probably some of the worst AI I've seen in years. Like, it's serviceable, it's fine, it does its job, but it's nothing impressive. It's not what we're led to really believe. Like, it seems like certain NPCs are really crafted really well in certain locations, but most of them are just, they pop in and pop out and that's it. Like, even comparing this to Fallout 4, it's just really not that great. But anyway, these are some of the comments over the years. CDPR said, we've greatly enhanced our crowd and community systems to create the most believable city in any The city streets are bustling with crowds of people from all facets of life, all living their lives on a full day-night cycle. And then in a more recent interview from this past June, according to new CDPR interviews, Cyberpunk 2077's new real-time AI systems will allow for incredible dynamism. Thousands of NPCs will have actual daily routines throughout Night City's 6 districts, including a ton of robust and varied characters with cyborg implants, unique designs and animations in day and night cycles. That is not at all in this game at all. Like, the AI just does absolutely nothing. The NPCs do almost nothing. Some of them can be seen smoking. It is pretty cool, some of the animations. But most of the time, especially when you go to city center, they'll walk back and forth and they'll pop in and out, which is very much immersion breaking, but that's as far as it goes. But there's just a lot of missing features in this game. Things that I think CDPR really should have came out and said, no, this is not what the game looks like now. But they really just did not do a good job managing expectations. That's a lot of frustration in the air. Of course, in the future, so there's just basic things that an open world AAA game should have. Anyways, here's some CDPR, some amazing AI that directs enemies during combat / patrol, but also an NPC's daily life. That's not here. They talked about the system and corrupt police. You could make an argument if this is in the game, but it sounded a lot more exciting in interviews than what's actually in the game, as police and such just kind of pop up in front of you, and then corrupt police, you don't really see that outside of story sequences. Definitely would have been pretty cool if we could actually bribe cops and such to get away from us, but that's no. The police system's just very immersive and small things into the area where you can again that's not ago the police will just spawn and try to cop you. Not sure what happened to that feature. In general, there was supposed to be way more interesting combat hacking. Some examples are the ability to use your wires to hack people. Hacking reveals information about the network, more interesting viruses to upload more loot from hacked devices. Again, not really here. More interesting game examples that were like a key role, flying, ABS that target the players, merchandise. There's supposed to be strong RPG elements. I would say that Cyberpunk 2077 is The Witcher 3, the same Fallout New Vegas. NPCs were supposed to have unique daily routines and AI. We talked about this a second ago. But decisions will have relevance in the world. Meaningful day and night cycle. Right now it's just cosmetic. It doesn't impact the gameplay. There's supposed to be incredible character customization during /in-game. Right now you cannot alter your character's in-game appearance at all. The pro is more than just something in the game. There was said to be originally in 2018 3 different life paths and more that would actually have more impact than what we are getting now. At the previous point, life paths leading to non-linear quest design, nanowire, and gorilla arms were originally supposed to have a lot of different uses that are still the description of the item in the game. Cyberpunk 2077 was said to be working very well on consoles. It will launch ready. The weather system that pose a threat to your survival. Like I remember Pacifico was supposed to have acid rain, but it doesn't really affect you as far as I understand. And then there was of course features that were initially promised, but later they were announced to have been removed. Property purchase, customization options, transportation systems like Metro promised have been removed. Vehicle customization. Those are just a couple of things that were meant to be in the game, but obviously CDPR didn't publicly come out and say that they just couldn't make it happen. But yeah, I think the biggest issue with this game is really the AI. I think a lot of people, maybe it wasn't going to be in the levels of, say, Red Dead Redemption 2 in terms of interactivity. It was such a huge focus on first person. I think a lot of people expected Night City to feel very much alive. What was behind the scenes, and features and stuff had to have gotten removed because it just feels like they were talking about a different experience in some aspects. I really am very much curious about how this game has evolved over the years because I feel like a portion of it was removed. Like right now, there's definitely a lot of nitpicking. A lot of people just going out of their way to really show their anger and frustration at Project Red. But overall, for Cyberpunk 2077, I've been saying this for a while. I think I'm like Nomad Life Path. I'm up to like 75 to 80 hours. I'm having a blast. I love combat. I really did love the story, the characters. I'm excited. I can definitely understand the argument that features, things that were discussed for a long time, for years, that it's just not here. Like specifically the AI NPC system, it feels like it was removed or something happened. Big story in the coming weeks and months. But anyway, Cyberpunk 2077 has been out the last couple of days. What do you make of the systems? Do you think that there are some design issues that stick out? Do you think CDPR should consider overhauling some of the gameplay systems that are
The Excelsior package provides for the disposal of passenger remains free of charge. Mr. Wells's closest blood relative is Guadalupe Alejandro Wells, proprietress of the El Coyote Coho Bar.
May thy strength